You know, it's funny because in years past here at CERAWeek, it has always just been about energy, really about how much are we going to produce, the shale oil boom, Russia, OPEC. Well, this year, trade, the T word, is a huge topic as well because there is perhaps no bigger aspect to the trade talks than energy in a sense because the contracts are so big. And perhaps no company has as big a contracts with China in particular as Cheniere Energy. LNG is the ticker, and LNG is what they ship. But of course, there have been recent reports that Cheniere Energy is about ready to sign a multi-decade deal with China that could be worth as much as $18 billion. Earlier, we caught up with the CEO of Cheniere Energy, Jack Fusco, and I tried to pin him down on whether or not they were going to sign that size of a deal.
I'm not going to speak about our commercial negotiations. China, as we've talked about, has been a real focal point for the company. We are dedicated to that market. We've sent over 60 tankers to China so far from our Sabine Pass facility. We've got a strong relationship with the counterparties in China, and you know, we're expecting good things to happen there.
All right, so I pressed him a little bit more off camera on that. I said, well, I know you guys have been talking as well. And then back on camera, I said, okay, you guys have done deals with China in the past. You're going to do deals with China in the future. And I asked him how the relationship, how the negotiations have changed from pre-tariff to post-tariff.
At the lower levels, you know, we don't see much change. There's two willing counterparties, you know, trying to talk about terms in the transaction. You know, at the upper levels, though, there's some tension. And you know, until I think the tension gets smoothed out, which we're trying to help with the two countries, it's going to be rocky and it's going to be lumpy. And we're just going to have to be patient.
Yeah, guys, can you imagine you walk into a high-level trade negotiation knowing what is going on with the White House, and you're a company and you've got to make these deals? They're probably asking you about what you know about Washington, D.C., and you've got to sort of reveal just slight parts of your hand as well. You would not commit to whether or not they're going to have that $18 billion contract. Certainly, that would be a big one. And all one way, guys, by the way, that would be all one way. Later on here in about an hour, we're going to be interviewing Secretary of Energy Rick Perry live here at the CERAWeek conference. Trade, obviously, a huge topic. LNG, a huge topic. Try to get into maybe infrastructure and if nuclear, if we have time as well. That coming up, guys, in just about 1 hour's time here in Houston.
They're already sold out, right? Isn't Cheniere already sold out, Brian? Wouldn't they have to put on enormous amounts of new capacity in terms of these trains to actually sufficiently meet whatever new demand comes from China?
And they are. In fact, they got a new authorization for another train at their Sabine Pass authorization yesterday. The word train, by the way, too, when we hear train, you think an actual train on tracks. That is not it's actually more of a pipeline. So think of it as a seventh pipeline that effectively opened up at their Sabine Pass facility in Louisiana. So yes, David, you are correct. Current capacity, they're full, but they continue to add capacity, something we might just talk about with Secretary of Energy Rick Perry. Who knows?